Hey my nikicharmz, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So today's video is an easy step-by-step tutorial of this beautiful floating teddy bear centerpiece. If you want to see how I created this look, continue to watch. Okay, let's get started. You'll need an air pump, a chopstick if you're doing double stuffed balloons, of course balloons. I'm using custom colors of baby blue, nude, and gold. Basically the leftover balloons from my balloon mold. If you haven't seen that tutorial, I'll link it down below. Also, all items used will be linked in the description box below. My first color is baby blue, which is blue inside of white, and I use a chopstick to slide them in together. You can always use regular colors. And we blow up our balloons, and of course release air, making the perfect circle, and then we crisscross and tie off the balloon. And you also see me matching the sizes. You want all balloons to be around the same size. For this centerpiece, I have no particular order of how I'm creating the quads. Like I said, I'm using leftover balloons, so you can mix nude with the baby blues while you're creating the quads, because it's all going to go into the cluster. Moving on to the custom nude, which is silver inside of Tough Text blush, which I'm using the chopstick to slide it into each other. See, I have no particular order. I'm using baby blue with nude. They're all going into the cluster. And we just release the air, making sure that they're around the same size. We tie off the dupes with our two balloons, and we move on. And for this top part of the centerpiece, you want to have 8 pairs of dupes, which is 16 balloons altogether. You could add in more to make it 12 pairs of dupes, but it's a little more challenging to do it that way. So let's start with the 8 pairs of dupes. The goal is to create a perfect round ball. And I'm blowing up about 6 pairs of filler balloons, some in nude and some in baby blue. And I like to use my manual pump because I can control how much air goes into the balloon. Moving on to the base, I'm using my knot lamp. I just detached part of the pole, so I'm using 2 parts of it. You could also use a balloon stick with some type of weight. I'm also using cord to wrap around the pole so it doesn't look so noticeable, but this is optional. I continue to wrap it around the pole until we're almost at the end, and then I secure it with some tape. Moving on to creating a cloud cluster, I'm taking 8 balloons and I'm creating a normal cluster. Just make sure not to inflate the balloon so big. I'd say about 6 to 7 inches. We inflate, release some air, and tie off the balloons. Once you have 4 pairs of dupes, which are 2 balloons, we intertwine the balloons to create a cluster of 8 balloons all together. Now we're ready to create the centerpiece. So for my cloud cluster, I'm just sliding the balloons onto the pole, interlocking and pushing it down. You want to try to cover the bottom as much as possible. Now we're going to add some filler balloons, which are 5-inch mini clusters. I like to blow up my 5-inch balloons with my manual pump. You can use the electronic pump if you like. And you blow up the balloons the same way how you will blow up a regular cluster. Once you have 2 dupes, you intertwine them to create 4 balloons altogether. I made about 4 pairs of filler balloons. Then I tie in my 260Q to connect it to the filler balloons. And I cut them in half because you don't need the whole 260 for this filler balloon. I take the 260 and I wrap and tie it into one side of the cluster, and then I take another cluster and wrap it on the other side. So you should have a cluster on each end. It makes it easier to connect into the cluster, as you see me doing. So you just want to stretch out your 260 and wrap around one of the balloons, and then you could just move it around as you desire. And that's basically it. Moving on to the topiary part. This part could be a little challenging, especially with double stuffed balloons. You should have 8 pairs of dupes. I would recommend taking your time so you do not pop your balloons. So the objective of this part is to always intertwine in the middle, as you see me doing. So when you're adding in the dupe, reach in the middle and try to fit the balloon in between the others. When adding in more balloons, the cluster will become tighter, but that's what we want. We're trying to create a nice round ball. See, it's tightening already, but we have 2 more to go. Don't give up, just continue to take your time. When the cluster starts to become very tight, I try to just roll it in, kind of, if you get what I'm saying, like twist it in. As you can clearly see, I'm fighting with the balloon, but it'll go in. Just don't be scared of it. Like I said, with double stuffed balloons, it could be a little more challenging because the elasticity is a little stronger. But we always win in the end, so here's the end result. You could add more, but it's full enough. Now to attach the cluster, I'm wrapping a 260 around, tying and leaving the ends loose so I can attach the cluster to the pole, leaving it secure. Once it's on the pole, I pull out the 260 and I'm just lassoing it into the cluster so it does not move out of place. You want to do this on both ends. Now to add in our filler balloons to our cluster, I'm using baby blue and nude. I like to color block in my design, so I'm just wrapping the filler balloon around the same color. And for this step, you could add as much or as less as you like. It all depends on your preference. You're putting your artistry to the test. Last but not least, the star of the show is the teddy bear. So to connect him, I'm using fishing line. I will link this in the description box below. And I'm just propping him how I like. And then I'm just wrapping his arms and his leg and wrapping it around the pole and then connecting it back into the balloon. And here's the final results. Look at it, it makes the perfect centerpiece for any baby shower. And to go on theme, I added some pampas grass. You know I love the extraness. I just love the boho chic look. I hope you guys truly enjoyed this video and it was very informative. Let me know down in the comments how you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification bell as I post weekly. Until next time, be blessed, guys. Mwah.